a sleek and breakthrough device, or just an incremental beauty? What are my honest thoughts? This is my Xiaomi 12 Pro in-depth review. Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tag. Good to see you guys again, and here it is, the one you've been waiting for, my in-depth, honest review of this Xiaomi 12 Pro. I've spent my time, guys, really thinking about this phone, really waited a long time to say what I'm going to say, but let's jump right into it, talking about design at 8.2 millimeters, 205 grams. Look, design is one of the highlights of this Xiaomi 12 Pro, from the sleek Gorilla Glass Victus design and matte edges on this phone in the camera module and also on these sides of the phone. I think this was a great touch. A very, very beautiful look. Yes, an evolution from the Poco F3s or the Xiaomi Mi 11s of last year, but I do like this evolution. The camera looks great, and the design, I think, is really one of the high points, in my opinion, of this Xiaomi 12 Pro. Talking about display, and we have a 6.73-inch LTPO 120Hz AMOLED display. This has been one of the pros and cons of this device. You can see the flickering already, guys. Look, without filming this phone, you actually have a very nice panel, 1500 nits of brightness, and you can really adjust the refresh rate as you wish as well. But I think there's something due to the LTPO here that is making this flickering so much more apparent when I film this phone next to the other phone, like the Mi 11 Ultra in this case, and I finally found the anti-flicker mode hidden in developer settings. I don't think Xiaomi wants us to use this setting, and it's a bummer because every flagship recently has had this feature. All in all, guys, it's still a solid display, but I really needed to point this out. Of course, YouTube playback with that 1500 nits of brightness, small bezels, that center punch hole. Look, you'll have great content viewing and DRM Info, L1 baby, HD Netflix support. That means it's a party here. L1 party on Frankie Tech. Performance, and we have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 Adreno 730, a million score, guys, the first time ever on the channel. But have you seen my throttling test? If you haven't, well, if you have, you will know what the deal was. Yes, this is the first phone to ever not complete the test, to fail in the last round. I do think there's some issues here with this chipset overheating a little bit. Maybe with software updates it will get better, but it is concerning for now. But what about gaming? You see it here in Genshin Impact. No issues whatsoever, even at high settings. I still was able to play half an hour without issues. I'm not a big gamer, guys, now, but let me tell you, I'm more worried about this phone over time having overheating issues for other reasons besides just the occasional game. But if you're going to do 60 FPS maxed out settings, I wouldn't be surprised if this phone definitely heated up over time. Look, gaming in my experience was solid, and the Adreno 730 is a beast, no doubt. Talking about software, we have MIUI 13 version 13.0.12 for the first time. A very smooth, very good experience so far with this phone. It's actually been one of the highlights of using this Xiaomi 12 Pro. And talking about battery, we have the 4,600 mAh capacity, 120 watt charging, and yes, I've had to switch to balance mode. Performance mode really does tax the battery, but I'm still getting a day and a half of use easily with this phone. Of course, charging is the real highlight here, so here's my 120 watt charging test. Got my Omega Speedmaster and Poco F3 to time this, and let's see how we do here. And what a cool shot, man. Watch that Omega Speedmaster go. And I did expect this to get closer to the 20-minute mark, which is why I was surprised when we ended up this test at, that's right, 29 minutes and 20 plus seconds. Don't get me wrong, it's still a fantastic result, but I did expect a little bit more with 120 watts. And the fingerprint scanner, classic optical under display that we've seen in many Xiaomi phones. It performs as advertised here. Pretty quick, maybe a little slow with the animations, but I'm used to it at least. No real complaints here overall with this fingerprint scanner. And the vibration motor, good news guys, as good as the Mi 11 Ultra, maybe even better. We have that same great haptic feedback, and this is truly a flagship level 1 on this Xiaomi 12 Pro. And I gotta say, I do love with the China variant here, all the different ways that you can interact with touch on this device. It is a treat. And of course, you'll have all the latest comms, including Bluetooth 5.2, NFC, Wi-Fi 6, and dual band. That's right, 5G capable as well. And I was getting terrific scores with this phone. No slouch here in the 5G department, a solid data performer. And now the audio speaker test, quad stereo speakers on this Xiaomi 12 Pro, and they're kind of angled interestingly here, but there you see them in the graphic. But let's see how this sounds next to the Mi 11 Ultra. Let's have a listen. What can I say? Definitely one of the highlights. Solid, terrific speakers. 9 out of 10s for both of these phones. And talking about cameras, we have a 50 megapixel main f1.9. That's the IMX707. And if you've seen my camera test, you've seen the results. Of course, the additional other cameras are the dual 50 megapixel ultra wide and 2x telephoto and a 32 megapixel front camera. We do also have 4K rear video, but no 4K front video still on a Xiaomi phone. It is unfortunate, guys, but super fast shutter here. You've seen my camera test, like I said, and the results were really solid from this phone. I would still not put it to the level of the ultra flagship phones like the Mi 11 Ultra or 13 Pro Max, but have a look at these samples and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? This is rear-facing video on the Xiaomi 12 Pro, shooting in 4K, 30 FPS. Very nice blue sky day here in Hong Kong, coming to around 2 p.m. And the video on this camera is good, it's solid. Good stabilization, no complaints really with the rear video. But hit me up in the comments, what do you think? And this is front-facing video on the Xiaomi 12 Pro, shooting in 1080p, 30 FPS. And that's right, guys, no 4K. I've already mentioned this is a pity to not get 4K front video from Apple, Samsung, Pixel, and many more. We're starting to see it, but not with Xiaomi. Another bummer about this phone, but listen to the mics, hear how they sound, and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? So that's it for this video and my final verdict on the Xiaomi 12 Pro. Folks, I was really hoping for a slam dunk with this device, and there are some really great aspects of this phone, like the design. I think the camera module looks great. We do have solid gaming performance. I believe the viewing content experience is also great on this phone. The display, the speakers, you could argue, they're all solid. They're all really great. Looking at also the just camera experience, I think nighttime shots are good, daytime shots, and rear video as well. But little things, guys, keep this from being a true knockout. Folks, this is a solid new Xiaomi flagship, but it feels a bit incremental to what we saw from the Mi 11 last year. Still no 4K front video. Look, it's a great phone, but it's not a perfect phone, and it definitely isn't almost perfect. We'll have to wait for that Xiaomi 12 Ultra to see if we get that close to perfection flagship from Xiaomi in 2022. But hit me up in the comments your thoughts on this Xiaomi 12 Pro. Do you think it's a slam dunk, or do you think there still are issues? Hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching my full coverage of this Xiaomi 12 Pro over the last week. Despite having a full-time job, I hope you've enjoyed all this content. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one. A great phone, guys. But to be honest, I expected just a little bit more. Oh boy.